What is going on, everyone? AP over here at Rumpier Sports, bringing to you, like we do each and every week, the Strokes Gain Show here with my two guys. Actually, we're missing Locks this week, but Kurt, we got a nice replacement, my man. PGA GOAT, what's going on?
Not much. Excited to get to it. I didn't really like the stuff with last week of how it was like 3-round cut or whatever, but I'm glad we're back at it again. I got some strong fades as usual. Very uncomfortable fades. I'm excited to get into it. Happy to be on with y'all.
Yeah, last week's structure. I mean, I don't know. I was very high on ROM on my main builds and everything. And it was actually another break-even week for me, so I'm always fine with that. But we're getting close. Like, the process feels dialed. It feels good. Just, man, you keep grinding, and eventually it all comes together and you hit. Snyder, what's going on, my man? How was last week for you?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Excited to jump into this. Last week was a little bit of a down week for me. I was like overweight on Montgomery. I was overweight on Rahm. I was overweight on Chris Kirky. I was overweight on a lot of guys up there, but I had a lot of guys also in that -8 range, -7, -8 range that just missed out on the cut, which kind of hurt I didn't have the right constructions. And so even though I was overweight on a lot of guys up top, it didn't really work out for me, but excited to jump back into this. We've got another 2-course rotation this week. It's not going to be the 3-course rotation we saw last week, but we're going to have an advantage on one of these tracks again this week. So excited to dive into this at Torrey Pines here and get some winners out for the people. Yeah,
so the first part of this show that we talk about is takeaways from last week. I think we can keep it pretty simple. Would you guys not agree that the takeaway from last week is Jon Rahm's on a mission? The guy's the best in the world. He's clicking on every single cylinder that you could possibly kick on or fire on. Make more sense. I mean, the guy actually lost strokes putting last week, 2 strokes putting, and still just absolutely nuked. I mean, from a ball striking standpoint, I mean, is it too much to say prime Tiger? Is that going out too far? I mean, what's your thoughts, Kurt?
Man, don't go to me first on the Rahm take. Snyder, you give it.
I'm just saying, when you think about, the fields are I think obviously better today. The guys just dominating, absolutely dominating. Snyder, do you have a thought on that?
Yeah, I mean, Rahm's definitely just playing on another level, which is pretty crazy, like you were saying, for today's game. I mean, the average talent on tour is so much better than it was when Tiger was dominating the tour, and Rahm's kind of on one of those runs here, like Tiger was doing. He's got a chance to go 3 in a row here, which we haven't seen for quite a while. Tiger done it multiple times throughout his career, but it'd be interesting to see Rahm, who's coming into this event at plus 400 in this. We haven't seen those type of odds since Tiger was in these fields and stuff dominating back in the day. So, yeah, I mean, this is the absolute best course for Rahm, too. He's playing in the absolute best form. They finally did price him up, though. I know last week he was just so underpriced last week. I got way overweight on him. He was under 11K, which I thought was just absurd, and ended up being that case. This week they priced him closer to 12K here. He's at 11.6, and I'm still going to be looking to get as much of him as I can here.
I still don't think the price is high enough. I mean, when I look at the other, and we're going to get into it for sure, but JT at 9.4, I mean, that's a low price tag, but he's just not in form, or hasn't been in form, it seems like. So it's going to be really interesting, especially from a tournament standpoint. We'll talk ownership. We'll talk, plays and fades and all of that. But Snyder, let's dive in, man. Talk to us about the course. 2 courses this week, right?
Yeah, they're going to be playing the North and the South course here. They're going to play the North 1 round. Everybody will get 1 round either on Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be the much easier course. It's played right around 3 strokes easier over the last couple of years, so it's going to be a huge advantage in the showdown streets and stuff. So be looking to dial in on that. But yeah, excited to dive into this Torrey Pines here. It's one of the most well-known tracks on the tour here. The South course is going to play very tough. I mean, it went through a recent renovation back before the U.S. Open here. It now plays at 7,765 yards. It's going to have a little smaller greens here than the north. The north is going to have around 6,000 square feet greens. The south is going to have a little smaller at 5,000 square foot on average. It's going to be a long track here. I mean, golfers are going to see 7 par 4s with 450 plus yards, and all 4 par 5s are going to play over 560 here. That's going to be a ton of. They've had a ton of rain too leading up to this, which is going to make this rough just play absolutely brutal. It's going to be really thick Pinot rough, and these fairways are only about 24 to 27 yards wide. I think we're going to see the absolute opposite of what we saw last week. We saw a -10 cut last week. I think we're going to see a cut line right around even, maybe -1 on the cut line here this week. This Kikuyu rough is tough. It's thick. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys navigate through here. So I will be kind of factoring in some driving distance too with fairways gained, just kind of total strokes gained off the tee there. It's going to have some cooler temperatures, it looks like, too, which is also going to mitigate some of these driving distances. The balls aren't going to be traveling as far here in this cool wind. And then the greens are going to be rolling around 11.5 here. These POA greens are some of the toughest to putt on here because, especially later in the day, these POA greens will kind of grow as the day goes on and get bumpier in the afternoon. So we're going to see a lot of missed shorter putts here, I think. So that's something to consider here. Some other key stats we'll be looking at: strokes gained approach, strokes gained off the tee, with an emphasis on driving distance, long iron play, and strokes gained around the green as well.
Yeah, very good. Hopefully I got your guys' codes right. I guess I have one. I must have not been paying attention in the meeting that we had last Tuesday, the board meeting we do, because I had no idea that I had a code. But my code doesn't matter. I want to shout out Kurt 15 or Snyder 15, I believe. Is that correct, Snyder? Yeah, for correct. 15% off your membership. We got a little competition going on for our coordinators over here at Rumpier Sports. Sign up, use that code. Also, if you could, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us out a lot over here at Rumpier Sports. We got so much premium content. Tomorrow, so all the shows move up one day. And tomorrow we get the premium show with Tambo and Hoop. Got to make sure that you catch that. Those guys are absolutely dialed in right now. We got the PJ Playbook that Snyder does. We got the heat map that I do. I've had a ton of fun doing that already this season. And, we got Kurt on Showdown. We got Snyder on Showdown. Lots and lots of good stuff over at Rumpier Sports. Let's dive in, though, guys. How we do it, we're going to go tier by tier. But we're going to pick winners and fades. In the 10K range, the studs. All I want is one guy you're on and one fade. So, Snyder, I'm going to kick it back to you. 10K and up is John Rahm, Finau, Xander, and your boy, Colin Morikawa. What are you doing with this range?
Yeah, I think I may even just lock Rahm in here. I mean, the price is kind of somewhat fairly priced, I think, here. He's finally up over 11K, which I said from last week. 22 of the 24 rounds he shot here at Torrey Pines have been under par. He won the U.S. Open here, finished third last year. Elite course history here, elite recent form. I think he's a possible lock play here up top for me. But if I was looking to get different, I think my guy Morikawa is coming off the epic collapse to Rahm, but he's going to be probably 10% or lower again. I think he's a great leverage play in tournaments. I mean, if he can get that putter to work, I mean, he's a West Coast guy. I think he's an interesting tournament play. Great long iron play. He's good off the tee. He can find the fairway, which is going to be huge here. And he's so good with those long irons. I think he's going to be a guy that goes way underweight here. I think Rahm, Finau, I think Xander, I think Zalatoris, JT. I think all those guys are going to come in right around that 20% mark, and it's going to kind of squeeze Morikawa to like maybe 7 to 10% ownership. So I think he's an interesting tournament play. And the fade for me in this range is going to be Tony Finau. I know he has good course history here, but I'm just going to get so much overweight more so on Rahm. I think Finau is still going to see like 20% ownership, and Rahm maybe like at 30%, but I'm going to at least get double of Rahm. So I don't think I'm going to be able to fit Finau in my player pool this weekend.
Yeah, very good. Xander last week, I faded him. A lot of people did. Worried about the withdrawal the previous week due to, back not feeling good or whatever. What an absolute solid tournament play that would have been to have. Finished T3.
Did you see that albatross he hit on Sunday?
No, I mean, no, I didn't because I had to drive 10 hours on Thursday and I drove 10 hours on Sunday. So, I mean, even when like football, those two awesome games, I was in the car listening to it on the radio. So I caught the first half of the first game, the Bengals game, but that was about it. And yeah, Spencer Smith, no, I was watching the first, few minutes of the Pistons and Bucks game, and I saw Giannis hit two jumpers from like 30 feet that just absolutely splashed. And then I saw them hit like 9 more threes in a row, and it was like 34-6. And so I started researching golf. Is what it is. Kurt, 10K range. Give us one guy that you're on in this range, and then one fade.
One guy I'm on, it's going to be Tony. I understand why Snyder can't do. He can't fit it with Rom. Last week I didn't have Rom. I had 5 or 6x on Chef. I don't know what he came in at. I had like 28%. Feels like I was almost 6x on him, honestly. But his Sunday, like I thought, I'm probably gonna just take my L. I faded Rom, but then Schauffele just went nuts on Sunday. I ended up only losing like 10 to 15%. I was super hype about that. Had a good pool last week. I just didn't have Rom. I mean, it happens. It's the way I play. He's like I told people in chat, like, play Rom. Like, he's incredible. Obviously, don't do what I'm doing. What's the phrase? Do as I say, not as I do.
So, I mean, Kurt, I'm going to just cut in real quick because you make such a good point. I've actually had a lot of questions in the DMs, just like people asking for advice on their process and everything like that. But part of it is just understanding what your style is. If your style is to find leverage and get leverage in tournaments, you have to make those stands.
So
it's just what you have to do.
We're almost coming. I think we're 2 events away from me playing like heavily for a year, and I think it's the most volatile DFS sport. So why am I going to go to where the ownership is? And
that's crazy because I think NFL is the most like high variance.
It's close, but
high volatility.
Which is different because like they play a whole game. It's like the best. It's like Tom Brady not getting through a half. It's like he played Bachelor. You're not playing the whole second half. That's the difference.
Yeah,
like,
but it's like you're in the red zone and you rush it 3 times, get stuff, and then play action, throw it to the third string tight end. I mean, there's wild stuff that happens. In golf, over time, I feel like the cream kind of rises to the top is what I see. But on an individual like week to week basis, the volatility is high for sure.
And here's my next question: is what's the percent you would give that Rom will be optimal this week?
Here's what I like. There's like something in this guy's eye right now. Like
I agree, but
he wants to win everything. I think like okay, like real. I want to say 95%, but that's not realistic.
I think it's like at least 70%. I mean, he's wanting.
I was going to say more so like 60 to 70 range, but I don't know. I mean, the thing is like there's so many different things that can happen, but he's so dialed right now. I mean, it's just crazy, and it's not like this field is crazy. It's a good question though.
And if you were to like create a course for him, it would literally be this one. Like, give him the South where it's tough, and it's just like this is really his course. Now, next question is, Snyder, who will have during the wind and stuff? Who will be on the South course during that day in this top range? I feel like that people need to know that.
I haven't really looked into that much yet. I haven't looked into the weather at all yet. Is there going to be like a legit weather? Are you talking like 10 to 15? Or are you talking like 30? That's the only time I really consider if it's going to be like 25 to 30.
Yeah, it's still too early. So my one fade up here is probably going to be X after he just nuked for me. And give me Tony. Yeah,
I mean, with weather, that's usually – I mean, we're still many days out. Yeah. I'm a day behind on my process as it is. But I look the night before and start to make adjustments. So we'll have that for members in Discord like we always do. And I'm with you guys. I mean, Rom, obviously, I'm just going to keep jamming him in. My one rule this year, and I'm going to stick to it, is – each and every week, I'm not going to have any golfer higher than 70%. I had 70% Rom last week. I'm going to do the same this week. Big T talked about it a lot. It's just when you're playing 150, we love making stands. We love getting overweight, but you got to leave yourself some outs too. And if that guy fails and busts, and if he is chalk, you still got 30% there with some win equity, in your lineup. So I'm going to be 70% Rom is what it is. And my fade in this range is going to be Tony Finau. So I'm right there with Snyder in this range. Kurt, my apologies, but that's where I'm at. I'm a Tony guy too. I don't know. I got to make that stand. Like he's 10-5. Rom's 11-6.
No, don't play him. No one played Tony this week. No one play him.
I'll be honest.
Give him to me.
Hit that subscribe button. We love you guys for it and gals for it. Let's keep it going. All right, Kurt, I'm gonna keep it with you at 9K range. Give me 2 golfers that you're on in this range and 1 fade.
Zalatoris. If you can't actually crush it off the tee, I'm looking at 4 things. If you're not a bomber, you better be great with long irons. And then if you're not a good approach guy, you better be amazing around the greens because greens and regulations kind of tough here. So you got to be one or the other here, especially up top. You're going to need like 3 of those 4. Give me Zalatoris and give me Max Homa. And for the first time ever, I am fading our cash cow, Taylor Montgomery. And it hurts me. He's been our cash cow. I'm hopping off here, and it does not feel great.
Yeah, good plays. I love the Max Homa call. I mean, even though he's last 5 times he's played here, 3 cuts, and he's made the cut twice.
This is the best. The
guy is just incredible right now.
Yeah,
and he should dominate. He should not dominate, but it should be a course that sets up well for him. Snyder, same question over to you. 2 golfers you're on and 1 fade.
Yeah, the ownership I'm seeing early on is kind of crazy to me. I thought Montgomery was going to be high up there, but I think he's going to be lower than even Homa, it looks like. He's going to be lower than Zalatoris, lower than Thomas, right around the same as Sung Jae Im. I think we're going to see Montgomery come in around 15%. And he's been the guy I've been on since last fall. He was my Corn Ferry player, flag plant player of the year last year. I'm just going to keep riding him here. I mean, he loves these. I wanted to target him on this West Coast swing the way it was, and he's just been absolutely dialed in. He's a West Coast guy, elite recent form there. He hit 85% of his greens last week, found 73% of the fairways. I think that's huge. I'm going to be riding Taylor Montgomery until it bucks me. I'm just going to keep locking him in there.
Snyder loves riding Taylor Montgomery.
Oh yeah, that's one of the biggest things I've found though. Like the last couple of years is, I think one of the biggest edges though over the last couple of years is you got these guys that are just on heaters. You just keep riding them out. I think that's what's.
Isn't it kind of like baseball? Like I love doing that in baseball. We had that. I forget who it was in chat that commented that baseball is a high, very volatile variance sport for sure. But I do that in baseball too. I love riding the heater. So I'm with you on that, Snyder.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be a little lower owned than I think, so I like him there. And then it's between. I'm probably gonna have both Zalatoris and Homa in my in the player pool. I'll say Zalatoris right here. 2 appearances here, 7th and 21. He lost in a playoff last year. Has shot sub 70 in all 8 rounds played this year. I think he's got that increased distance off the tee too, which is going to come in handy here. And it looks like he's fully healthy here. So I'm going to be on some Zalatoris here, and my fade in this range is going to be JT here. I mean, I just would rather play some of the others I just mentioned a little lower. JT's kind of struggled the driver at the TOC. He only hit 50% of his fairways. Early ownership I'm seeing right now is like 25%, which is just a little too much for me. I think that could. All
right, Chad, do you agree or disagree? We got to get Chad involved.
That's a lot.
The price tag could lead that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And then real quick, I did want to bring up this comment. Then I'll go back to you.
Yeah.
Homa, McNeely, Day, they're going to be playing in the pocket of win on Thursday as of right now. Things could change for sure, but does that change anything for you?
I don't think so. I don't know. I'll have to look into that more as we get closer to lock. It's Monday. They're not going to be playing until Wednesday, so we got a little bit of time to kind of get into that. We'll be in Discord though, like you said, for any possible wind. What's the wind look like though? What are they talking? Are they talking like 15 or are they talking like 30 miles an hour?
I don't usually look until the day before.
Me either. see, like, I don't look at the actual numbers until later, but I just see they posted there's something. I'm like, oh, well, there's something. I'm not going to look into it until it actually matters.
Yeah, I mean, if it's 15 mile an hour wind, I don't even consider that at all. Once it gets up into that 20, 25 sustain, that's when I start to take notice, though.
If it's a little bit, like I will, if I already kind of want to off a guy just for ownership reasons, then I'll let it, okay, I'll be like, 15. But yeah, for the most, like I'm not worried about 15. Especially like, I saw Homa win the little tournament over here near DC. It's windy and rainy as hell, so I'm not going to let 15 get me off Homa.
I pulled it. So RotoGrinders usually has their ownership up early projections, like as a first look. They still have last week's. Never mind. I was like, JT's not even on it. Well, no shit. He didn't play last week.
Looking at our friends from Rick Rungood has.
This whole like moving everything up a day is throwing me off. It's throwing my whole process off. But it is what it is. We grind. We get through it. But it's I'm glad they did because it's just Sunday. It's gonna be such a big day for the NFL. So I mean, smart of the PG. Is that why they do it, or am I just thinking that the NFL?
Yeah,
owns Sunday?
I think CBS has the rights to both of these, and it's kind of a scheduling conflict. They used to have this tournament in between the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship game, but then they added that extra week in the NFL season, and that bumped the conference championship game into this weekend. So I think that's the conflict that they ran into last year as well.
I kind of like this though, because it's more of a team thing we have going on. Chat's helping us out a lot, talking about weather, talking about ownership. Gusts of 30 on Thursday.
I just pulled it up. Yeah,
I gotta say, go ahead.
From they don't have the super forecast up on Windfinder yet, but Windfinder has. It's going to be calm up until about 10 p.m. and then 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. It looks like we could see sustained winds of 20 miles an hour with gusts possibly around like 29. But it'll be interesting to watch though as we go forward.
So I was doing the Sabre Show. This was a couple events ago, and there was projected winds like in the morning one day of like 10 to 15 miles an hour, and then nothing in the afternoon. And these people were just hammering us because we weren't all in on this. Weather edge. And I'm like, 10 to 15 miles an hour is nothing. Like that does not impact these guys. 30 or gusts of 30. Yeah, that definitely does matter. So something to keep an eye out this week for sure. The weather, the wind mainly. Because actually, rain and stuff sometimes can actually help softens up the course, makes scoring a little bit easier. But wind is just very unpredictable. Can absolutely throw people's games off.
I would be looking to kind of target some of the South Course players that are going to play the South Course on Wednesday and play the East North Course when the wind's up that much. I don't think it will bother it as much.
For the purpose of the show, we're going to just work under the assumption that there's no wind or anything like that, because if we get into that, it's just going to be, we're going to be looking up tee time. It's going to be very difficult. So, but we're trust us, get in Discord closer to lock, and that's going to be something that is definitely the heavy focus for me in this range. 9,400 JT. Come on, for me that's a gift. I'm on JT here. My boy, even though he frustrates me all the time, I got to play him here. The other guy that I'm going to be very high on is Will Zalatoris. The guy is an absolute stud ball striker. Very, very good. And I want to bet on these younger guys that I think have a ton of upside this season and in their PGA Tour career. Will Zalatoris is one of those guys. My fade is Taylor Montgomery. So I'm there with Kurt, right? You're fading him, right?
Yes, sir. First time ever. He's won me so much money. But also, if you go,
I don't feel good about that. But
no, we can't. I mean, you never do. But if you go through a large sample size, Zalatoris is the best long iron player in the field this week.
Yeah,
big sample.
Morikawa is up there too, I bet.
Oh yeah, it's like the only reason Rahm's not that high.
You two just fighting over your ball strikers.
That's funny.
That is funny. Let's keep it going though. Let's get down to this 8K range. Snyder, I'm going to keep it with you. 3 golfers you are on in 1 fade.
Yeah, I'm going to go with my guy Mav here. I've been watching Mav. I think he's starting to take that next step up into the next level of. He's been a guy I've been targeting quite a bit ever since he came on tour. I've been on him. Solid course history as well here too. He's a West Coast guy. He can putt with the best of them. on the POA surface here. He's got four top 20s his last 5 events, and that 5th being a top 27 or a 27th place finish. So he's been elite form heading into this. He's a guy I like to target on these longer tracks too. He's a good long iron player, has distance. So I like Mav in that 8K range. And then I'm going to go with Justin Rose here. I think it's another course horse guy here. 5 of his last 6 weekend rounds at the South Course have been sub 70, which is interesting as I kind of dug into him a little bit. Shot 65 in his final round at the Amex. Good mojo heading in. 3 of his last 4 appearances here have been 8th or better. So Justin Rose has a really good course history here. I'm going to be on him for the first time in quite a while, I think. And then my fade is going to be Luke List here, the previous winner from last year. He's coming in off a miscut. I think he's just way overpriced here. I think he's still going to see ownership, so I'm going to be off of Luke List here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I might be on the same fade as you. Kurt, same question over to you. 3 golfers you're on, 1 fade.
I'm going with it. I'm going with side with Mav. Him on Poe is nice, and like it's his best putting surface, if I'm not mistaken. Love Mav. Hopefully we can get that win thing sorted out later, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And then Cam Davis, man, I'm going back to it. He just checks all the boxes. I'm hoping he just kind of just coming out the gates very slowly this season. Maybe he picks it up here. Decent course history. And then my fade is going to be, it was Luke List, but I'm going to give someone else. It's actually going to be Thigala. This will be the first time Montgomery or Thigala hasn't been in my player pool when they've been in an event in a long time. He just doesn't check out great on long courses. So no Thigala for me here. Hurts.
Yeah, and keep in mind, fellas, like if there's, you don't have to, like if you're fading a range or anything like that, you don't have to have 3. So I only bring that up because that might be me in this range. It's a roster construction type of thing. I want to be very, very overweight on Rom and a lot of these guys up in this top tier. And like I already see it, like Rom, JT. I'm gonna have a ton of that combo. I'm just gonna jam in as many of those as I can. And then what that's gonna force me to do is fade this mid range, which I kind of like this week. And it's just we're gonna need some punt value horses that get it done for us. So that's gonna be my path. But I'm with you. Like I like the Dusty Justin Rose call. I can get behind that. He's had a phenomenal course history here. T6 missed a cut in 2020. We can forgive him for that. Won it in 19, T8, T4. I'm on board with that. I am definitely on board with that. I'm going to make a ton of fades in this range. Keegan Bradley's going to be a fade. I want to fade Adam Hadwin. JJ Spawn. JJ Spawn, I mean, maybe he's just like played lights out and maybe he'll just own me again. But come on, man. I'm not paying $8,500 for JJ Spawn at this week. So I'm going to fade a ton of this range. That's where I'm at.
So I was going to say I'm fading Jason Day too. I think he'll be pretty popular here. So I want to give a popular-ish fade in this range. I'll be fading Jason Day and all the other guys you said too. Unless someone's coming in like random 3% here, which I don't think happens. But I'm probably gonna fade all the guys you mentioned.
Yeah, so
Day's interesting though.
He is interesting. That's why I'm hoping it kind of rises. I'm just like, okay, that'll be the chalkier guy I fade.
So it's so funny because I want to play Justin Rose and Jason Day. I haven't said those 2 names in a long time.
Throw in Fowler. Throw in Fowler in there too, baby. He's not bad on long tracks.
I might have to. Hey, don't tempt me. I did bet the Detroit Pistons money line today, so don't tempt me. I'll do.
I think
I'm
we
always
could
down to
see
do some crazy
a lot
stuff.
of this range get squeezed though, because I'm looking at ownerships right now. Those high price guys are going to see a ton of ownership, so I could see a lot of people jamming 2 of those 10K, 9K guys and kind of skipping a lot of this. Like Jason Day's only showing like 10% ownership for me right now. Justin Rose is under 15%. Cam Davis and Mav are the only 2 right around 20%, it looks like, in this 8K range.
Yeah, I mean, Day looked pretty good. If he's healthy, I mean, he's a guy that I'm fine buying low on. So, and this is a course that obviously absolutely owns and destroys. So he has to be pretty motivated this week because like if you're just thinking about him and if he wants to be relevant again, he has to do it at courses that he knows and has played really well at, which Torrey Pines is one of those. So Kurt, I think we can talk you on to Jason Day this week if we just keep talking about him.
He's a
Like,
two-time
maybe
winner
20
for
more
his
minutes of
last
Jason
five.
Day
Yeah,
talk.
no, everything checked out. That's why I think it's a popular fade. Everything I researched today screamed Jason Day. The fact that he said he's been the healthiest he's felt in a while, everything. But if the ownership gets high, I don't give a fuck. The only person I wouldn't fade at high ownership is Tiger Woods. That's it. I'm fading everyone else. Jack Nicklaus, fuck the old fucker.
John Rahm is the next Tiger Woods.
He really is. He really is a Tiger Woods form.
We had a John Huh?
God dang
Huh?
it again.
Huh? John Huh has withdrawn. So
God,
thank you,
his
Badger
only good
DFS. We
putting surface
appreciate
is
it.
POA, bro. It's his only good putting surface.
I like this format. We should do this show on Mondays moving forward. A little more laid back. Let's keep it going, though, fellas. 7K range. Snyder, I'm going to keep it with you. 3 golfers you're on in this. A much bigger range. But 3 golfers that you were very high on. And one fade.
Yeah,
Or a couple fades, whatever you want to do.
We've got a good assortment of guys here. I think we can kind of round out in some of our builds here. And with I'm going to go with another guy who's got really good course history here, Ryan Palmer. I haven't played him that much. He started out a little rough at the Sony, but he rebounded well over his next 3 rounds there. Shot a final round 65 there. Has made his last 5 cuts here. 21st or better in with a pair of seconds here. He gained 4 strokes ball striking, but lost 1.7 strokes around the green at Sony. So he's striking the ball well. Great course history here. I'm going to be on Ryan Palmer this week. Ben Griffin's the guy I'm going to go right back to. He's a young gun. He can pump it out there 300 plus off the tee. He rebounded great last week. He struggled in round 1, but then he closed the event out going 67, 64, 67 to finish in 32nd there after he was pretty much left for dead. I think he was in like 120th after the first round. Came back good, great ball striker. The putter's been hot for him as well, so I like Ben Griffin. And then Robbie Shelton
He was
another guy.
Workbench play of the week last week.
Yeah, it was a great
He
call.
looks
Yeah.
so good.
Well, I mean, he was dead. He was dead for a while, and then he was a
Yeah, he
hero
was dead
shooting
to
8
rights.
under in round what?
Not on
3?
the weekend. Not when I was balling on the weekend.
No, he's
Sunday,
8 under. He shot 8 under on
Saturday, he shot 64. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was highlighted in that showdown playbook, which is a good thing. And then Robbie Shelton's another guy I like. After a poor iron performance at the Sony, he bounced back huge last week. Gained over 5 strokes approach, hit 80% of his greens in regulation. He's made both of his cuts at this event. Should be around. He'll be under 10%. I think somewhere in that 5 to 8% range. We'll get Robbie Shelton at this week. He's a guy I've been high on recently. I'm going to keep targeting him as a value play in the 7K range. And then my fade in this range is going to be the guy who took second last week. It looks like he could get double-digit ownership here. Davis Thompson is going to be my fade here. Yeah, he had a pretty good week last week, but he only gained 0.8 strokes ball strike, and it was mainly the putter that did it for him last week, so I'm fine fading that. Hopefully people kind of gravitate to that. I think that's about my main fade here. If Matthew Neesmith looks like he could get some ownership, if he's over double digits, I could fade him. But I think that's about it for me.
I'm such a course history homer. Like it's not. I'm looking at Ryan Palmer right now after you mentioned him, and I'm just licking my chops. I will fully admit it. I'm a huge course history homer, and
it's not,
especially at tracks like this one.
Like courses like this. Yeah,
bro. He's like third. If you go back 50 rounds, I think it was 50 or 36. Like all tracks over 7,400 yards. He's like second or third. So it's not just this course; it's long courses. The dude just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but he does great on long
history
track.
here looks.
He's
just
old,
tasty.
but he can still pound it off the tee.
Yeah, dude is
old, but
definitely
can still pound it.
He's getting some boosters or something, man. God.
I mean, so I forget who mentioned Ricky, but I can't go there.
You shouldn't be priced that much.
That's so I got to fade one of the dusty dudes. It's got to be Rick. Kurt, 7K range, 3 golfers you like, 1 fade.
Man, I love this range. I mean, look at this ownership, like a lot of low guys. So I'll go ahead and get my fade first. And he was a hero for me last week. I'm pretty sure I gave him as my value on the bet show that me and Snyder do. But Smalley coming in at 15% when all these other guys, I like Kitayama coming in at 6, one of my favorite plays. The guy crushes the ball off the tee, is great with long irons, sucks around the green and can't approach, but I think he'll make up for it just embalming it. And he can have his best putting surface is Poe, I believe. Like kind of like John Huh. Might be getting the Asians confused, but I'm still playing Kitayama. He just kills the ball. Thomas Dietrich is just so disrespectful, the pricing on the guy. I mean, he just gains strokes everywhere. and he's coming in at 6%. Like, what the fuck does Thomas Dietrich have to do to get ownership? I don't understand. The guy is good, people. Thomas Dietrich is good at golf. I'm going to have probably 10x on Thomas Dietrich this week. Let's see. I'm at 2 guys. I love this range, so maxed at 3. I got my very best third one. I'm going to go. Pendrith is too expensive for me to count him. I'm not going to count Pendrith. Ben Griffin coming in at 4%. Another guy who's just playing so well right now. What does he have to do to get respect? I don't know. Robbie Shelton, I like him. Jaeger. I'll go on Jaeger. He is great around the green, a perk of playing this course. He's fixed his craziness off the tee, but he can still gain strokes with his distance. So give me Steven Jaeger.
Yeah, very good. I'm going to start with my fade. My fade is Thomas Dietrich. He sucks at golf.
What?
God, just kidding.
I was like, give me the reason why. What am I missing?
After your little speech there, I had to say it. No, I actually like the Thomas Dietrich call. Here's the weird. So like when I think about like the overall construction that I want, obviously I want a ton of these studs up top. I like some of these course horses that we talked about, Ryan Palmer, Jason Day. Then it's a lot of, a lot of dudes out. And then it's down here. This is kind of going to be my sprinkle range. Like I'm going to open up the pool a little bit. Like I'm going to literally try to get very, very over on like Rom, 70%, JT, probably 60 to 70%. I could see myself like Day, maybe 50 to 60 range, and then open up the pool a little bit down here in the low 7K range and, work in some punts, but I'm going to put a cap on my top end ownership on any one of these guys. But I love the Ryan Palmer call. We obviously all talked about him. Snyder, I'm with you. Absolutely love that call. Rick, I'm not. Ricky Fowler's. He's not even going to be popular. But we talked about it a couple shows ago. Like Snyder, this is a guy that we're just going to continue to fade. We're not playing him. He sucks. He's dust. I see no recovery for Rick. He should have went to live. Missed out on multiple bags that he could have collected, like all those other dudes did. But I'm sure Ricky Fowler will be fine. That's going to be my fade. Gary Woodland is another one, a sprinkle type. Is there a lot of water here, though, Snyder?
Not too much water here. I think there's only one hole with water in play or something like that.
And so when I mean like sprinkle, Gary Waterland, no water, we're fine. He would be like a 10 to 15% type of guy. I'm going to cap the ownership there just to
like him.
just to alleviate the risk just a little bit. And then I want to like Patrick Rogers. I love playing on the West Coast. The guy can bomb it. Not good at finding fairways, but he can absolutely nuke the ball. I know driving distance is going to be something that we all want here. Patrick Rogers. The course history is kind of so-so. He missed T62 miscut, T9, and then a couple miscuts. But I like how he's playing right now, even though he missed the cut at the Amex. If you delete that tournament, his form actually isn't too bad. So Patrick Rogers is going to be another guy that I am on.
What do you think about Ben Taylor here? One quick thought on Ben Taylor. He missed the cut as chalk last week. I think he's a good flop leg guy here, 7,100. Good recent form except for that miscut last week.
Yeah, T4 at the. These are kind of the plays that you always talk about on highlight that are awesome. I love that's going to be another guy that's right in that 10 to 15%. I'm going to be 2x the field, maybe 2.5x, and I'm comfortable with that. As long as my guys that I'm way over on hit one of these fillers, I just need a hero for them to be a hero, and I got the right path. So yeah, I'm definitely on, or I'm fine with Ben Taylor. So I'm good with that. Let's keep it going. Snyder, I'm going to keep it with you. 6K range, same question.
Yeah, I'm going to go right back to my guy, Kevin Yu here. He had his best round last week, was actually on the tougher stadium course there. He shot 67, but he did make too many mistakes on the easier courses. He made a double bogey and a triple bogey, which kept him from making the cut. He showed that upside, though. He had 3 eagles in the 3 rounds, though. So he's got that scoring upside. Hit 70% of his fairways last week, gained 2.3 strokes approach, the putter, and he's got that up and down putter. It's kind of boom bust there. I'm going to go right back to Kevin Yu, though, here. I think he can, definitely has the upside here. Kevin Tway is another Kevin I'm going to go to here. He's made 6 of his last 7 cuts at this event. He's made both cuts this year in 23, so I like Kevin Tway as a value. And then I'm going to find another Corn Ferry guy down here, Harrison Endicott. He's a guy, he's been playing well, finished 22nd last week, gained strokes across the board there, gained 3 strokes ball strike and 3 strokes with the short game. So that's good to see. I'm going to have some Harris Endicott in the pool. And then I think I'm going to fade Austin Smotherman. It looks like he's going to be the highest owned guy in the 6K range, possibly could see upwards of 15% ownership. So it's just going to be a fade for me based off ownership here in this 6K range.
God, this range is bad.
It's not good.
Oh, man. This has me rethinking
struggling.
life and everything. Ooh, normally we can always find some punts down here that can be heroes.
It's rough this week.
We'll find a couple, but oh my,
we'll
not
get some
good so
on the
far.
playbook. So make sure you tune in to the playbook on runpuresports.com, and I'm sure Tambo and Hoop on the premium show tomorrow will have some insights on this cheap range as well.
Yeah, Kurt, 6K range.
I'm literally this is my bread and butter, boys. This is why I made a profit on PGA last year. These little freaking cum rags just are my heroes. Love these guys. So is John Hunt officially a withdrawal? Because I was gonna have God, man, I wonder, am I ever gonna get to play him this year? Ugly fucker. That's ridiculous.
It's saving you money at least.
Kurt, are you okay?
He won me money last year, Snyder. What do you mean? What do you mean? I had him at the event where he choked and still ended up top 8.
Has John Hunt ever won anyone money?
Me last year. Do you just pull up what he did last year? All his good events, I had him. All his bad events,
I can't. He withdrew. I can't. I can't see the stats. He withdrew. He's not in it. He's being a pussy.
He is a pussy, bro. Really though, that's disrespectful to him. But it's a good reason to be because he's being a pussy. All right, but I got some Asians down here. Don't worry about it. I got Soon You Will Know. I mean, you all know I'm playing this guy. I can't remember what stat popped up. My phone just about to die. But Soon You Will Know. Anytime these guys down here, you're just looking for one stat to pop. And so Soon You Will Know, my guy, I'm going back to him. Satoshi Kodaira did disappointing for me last week, but I had 4%. So I mean, it didn't mean anything. These guys you don't have to go heavy on. But I'm going back to those two, my favorite Asians. And then Nicholas Echeverria. He's gained strokes past 2 events, but missed the cut on both. We're just kind of dumpster diving down here. So I will go with Nicholas Echeverria, Satoshi Kodaira, and Soon You Will Know. Also loved Snyder's call on Endicott. And
now, Soon You Will Know. Now, that's a guy that's won me money from your recommendation last year, but not John
Taylor
Hunt.
Moore. Ooh, man. Oh, Kevin Yu. I loved your Kevin Yu call. I like Taylor Moore down here, too. So I like the high 6Ks. They're not as bad. Taylor Moore, tasty.
I'm planning on Texas guy I like, but I think he's solid out here on the West Coast. I like to target him in Texas though mainly.
For the price range, just gotta meh.
So my plan. I'm going to go back and get a couple shares of Tyson Alexander again. I like his game. I think he's a decent golfer. I mean, at least he's shown some upside. But just looking at this range, it's not one that looks good. There's going to be a lot of cuts that we can make. I mean, a ton of cuts. And so, the question is, well, how are you going to get overweight on Rahm? How are you going to do a stud and value type of build? We're going to be able to do it. The one reason I like going back up to JT is Rahm plus JT, and then fill in low 7K K range, maybe just one punt. This range is really bad. We always find some nice punts. Carl, I got to steal that one from you again, Snyder. He's treated us pretty well. What about was it Carl Jan or Kevin Yu? Are you on both of those guys?
Kevin Yu, yeah, that's his name. YU, Kevin Yu. I
Carl,
think I might set a rule here for max 6K guy this week. Is that what you're kind of thinking?
I don't know if I can set a rule, but I'm gonna more so just govern it with putting caps. I mean, honestly, I see myself cutting out a ton of this range. Maybe Danny Lee. I've always been a sucker playing him. Michael Thompson, maybe. Doug Gim. Kind of a fringe play, 3 cuts in a row, but he randomly pops every now and then.
I think he's
Streel
going
Daddy. All right, Snyder, maybe you are onto something. Maybe I will look at, setting that rule because multiple of these guys could get you into a ton of trouble. But there are a lot of options down in the low 7K range. So
I like that Tyson Alexander call you had there. That's a guy with just huge upside, but he does have a downside, as we saw last week. But he was one of those guys. I think he was averaging 17 or 18 birdies in every one of his made cuts. So that's kind of interesting.
My last one, Cameron Percy, 6,700, 4 of 5 cuts made the last 5 times he's been here. So again, at least he has some course history that we can at least lean on. And the stats look decent. Good drive. He's good at finding fairways, good on par 4s, ball striking is good. The other thing, too, to keep in mind is if we do get a significant wind advantage for any of these waves, that could change my tune on some of these 6K guys. So the other thing is any of these 6K punts that are on the bad side of any type of weather edge, delete. I'm deleting all of them. Any that are on the good side, unless they're just complete dust, yeah, I'm going to take a look. They're going to make my pool to make that stud and value build work. But again, it's a first look. It's early. So my thoughts could change. A lot could change from now until PJ locks up on Wednesday, I believe, this week. So let's get to it, guys. Go ahead, Kurt.
I got one more cheapie. Okay.
We're already done. 3 max. We're done. No, go ahead.
Come on. Vincent Norman. I like the guy coming out. Was decent-ish on long courses in the Corn Ferry. He's just great on approach. Just hasn't shown it yet. Maybe just I can get a little bit early on a guy for once because Snyder's so good at it. I'm going to try to pull a Snyder. Maybe it's not this tournament, but I'm going to have him in the pool this week. Vincent Norman. Shout out Florida State.
I like it. Let's get to our winners. Let's do who we think's going to win and then one long shot. Snyder, I'm starting with you.
I'm going to go with my guy, Taylor Montgomery there. He's 28-1. I like the number there. He's been so close to win. I think he's going to break through here soon. I want to be on it when he does. Just another top 5 last week. He just keeps getting better, it seems. So I'm going to have Taylor Montgomery at 28-1, which I feel is a really good price tag on him. If I'm not going with Rahm, I do think Rahm's going to win. But my other guy is going to be another course horse. We kind of hit on him. I'm going to go with Palmer at 130-1. I think that's a interesting triple-digit long shot there, 130-1 if he gets hot. Great course history. I like Palmer as a long shot.
I'm going to swoop in and steal Kurt's spot just so he doesn't steal my guy that I'm stealing from someone else. First off, John Rahm. I three-peat. How do you not say him? So I'm saying John Rahm. And then my long-ish or longer-ish shot. And actually, the odds aren't that good, but it just goes to show you how good of a play he might be. 22-1, Jason Day. I mean, 22-1. Jason Day might be like a 70% guy for me this week. Like he might be like a flag plant type guy. If he's healthy, that's like the perfect, like we're looking at his price. You can play him with Rahm. You can do so much with Jason Day. So maybe I might
on the bench even.
Yeah, maybe I might flip-flop him and JT. So instead of like getting very, very over on JT, maybe JT is my 30 to 40 guy. Jason Day, my 60 to 70.
Savings there. I like that. Because what are you saving? 600?
22-1? Are you kidding me?
I think it's reflecting how I think he legit is fully healthy for the first time in a long time. Don't know how long it'll last. But if it does, we know how you can play when he's fully healthy. Right, Snyder?
Definitely.
Yeah. Kurt, who do you got winning? And then give us a long shot.
Man, they gave me a little boost on DK today. So I put 4 units for me, which is a lot because I like to keep it all on DFS. But 4 units on Zalatoris. They gave me like a 200 bump. So I got him at 20-1. Like I said, I love him here, long irons. And then for my long shot, man, I think I'm just going to go Dietrich. I love this kid, man. I think a lot of this past 10 or something years has been like 6-year lower odds. So you don't want to go too crazy here, even though like Snyder's Palmer call. So give me Thomas Dietrich at 110-1.
I like that call. I'm going to play him too. That's a good play right there. So again, if you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us out a lot over here at Rumpier Sports. If you're not a member, sign up. One week, try us out. 1 month, whatever. Use the code Kurt15 or Snyder15 when you do sign up for 15% off your membership. What does that get you? Get you all of our premium content over here at Rumpier Sports. Tomorrow, we got Hoop. We got Tambo breaking down a premium only show, breaking down this same event. They're going to talk weather. They're going to talk the waves, wave stacking, like Tambo always likes to talk about. They're going to talk which courses to attack, and then they're going to go obviously tier by tier, talking about the different plays, hopefully helping us to find some of those punt value plays to make the studs work. Usually, again, code Kurt15, Snyder15. Sign up for 1 week. Try us out. Before we go, Snyder, final thoughts this week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if we do have a weather edge. Make sure, like you said, to be in the Discord and all that, the premium shows. I'll have the playbook up tonight as a rough draft, and then tomorrow we'll really dial it in and get everything in there in full detail and everything. Looking forward to this, though. As always, Torrey Pines is one of the best courses I like here on tour. So, yeah, I'm excited to this. And we're going to have the Showdown playbook up tomorrow as well for round 1.
Very good. Kurt, final thoughts.
Man, I just love this shit. Golf is just my favorite DFS sport now, and it's just I'm so glad it's such a long season. You get towards the end, like NFL season, you're like, oh god. But just golf's just not that way. It's every week I just have a smile on my face looking at the who all's in what tournament. It's the best. If you know someone who's not into golf DFS but likes DFS, nudge them a little towards the right side.
I agree.
Let's have a great week.
Yeah, I think we are. And let's not only have a great week, but let's run Pier. I'm AP. That's Kurt. That's Snyder. Snyder, get us out of here.